Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. Before we begin, I'd like to make a few announcements. First, please consider checking out the new upcoming V5 book, Sabbat the Schism. Not only does it delve into the history and lore of the sect, it opens up multiple role-playing options for fans of the game, including new playable clans, elder level powers, and much more. You can find a preview of Sabbat the Schism in the link below. Second, I'd like to thank RS Experiments, aka Mark, our local musical talent, for graciously providing the custom music you've been enjoying so far, including our awesome main theme song called Haven Dweller. If you enjoy any of the music used during the stream and you'd like to hear more, you can find a full library of Mark's work by clicking the link below to RS Experiments' SoundCloud page. Lastly, if you enjoy tonight's session and you'd like to see more, be sure to follow both our channels. You can catch us live most Sundays at 7 p.m. CET by tuning in to twitch.tv/RSAGames, or check out all our recorded sessions at RSA Games on YouTube. Links below. Remember to like, subscribe, and be sure to leave us feedback and suggestions in the comments below. We hope you enjoy the session, and without further ado, let us delve into the world of darkness in tonight's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. We join the pack as they speed down the roads of Santa Monica, away from danger. In the van, they have Nagaraja, who's been deformed beyond belief, and a very injured packmate, Jack, who just now is starting to notice as his skin smokes from the incendiary rounds he tanked. With Serena at the wheel, you speed through the streets, hurrying your way to the nearest haven, a location that you were given in hopes of escaping the tyranny of the sun.
Let's fucking get.
Serena doesn't look away from the road and speeding just enough to basically be hurried, but not enough to attract any early morning police attention. She addresses Cecil. Can you do the same thing that you did to that friend of Isaac? Well, the one who considered himself Isaac's protege. Can you do the same thing to the Nagaraja?
I can attempt it if his mind is
Be-
not broken.
Well, I didn't break his mind. I only put him into a state of frenzy.
Cecil looks at the mangled body that used to be a Nagaraja, and then looks to Serena and says, "There are more than one way of breaking a mind."
They live If they live in the Shadowlands, and considering their alliances, I'm sure they're a bit more resilient than just to break on physical pain.
Let's hope that's the case.
Um,
Jack, do you need any assistance?
Yeah. Insalubre would be nice.
How did you let a fledgling with a shotgun hurt you this bad?
Didn't think about fucking, I don't know, bulletproof jacket.
Cecil sort of examines the wounds and says, "Well, you're lucky to be on your feet.
I know.
I can potentially arrange for you to feed. The question is, how do we prevent this in the future? I might reach out to some contacts and
Bulletproof vest and fucking fortitude.
the discipline would be helpful.
I can
Often
teach you.
armor is enough."
Yeah, fortitude.
We need to make sure that Larry is following us closely. Check with him. I
Um,
have to examine
yeah.
if the haven is safe. And Cecil sort of
Uh,
closes his eyes, rests backwards, and it's almost like he immediately goes limp.
yeah. Serena dials, like dials Larry, and Larry is on, and the phone rings, and he's on the speakers of the car. Are you
Yeah,
good?
you hear a lot of wind rushing noises. I'm
Are you-
fine.
Okay. Jack's not so
I.
fine.
Are we going to the haven?
We're going to a haven. Follow us. I'm sure you keep an eye on us, right?
I'm a little back, but yeah, I can see the general direction.
Yeah. Either way, Cecil is just checking out the location currently remotely. So.
Okay. Got it. Anything of need from me?
Oh, not really, but
Don't fucking die.
yeah. Welcome to
Never
being
planned to.
welcome to being hunted by the asshole.
How are you, Jack?
I'll be fine.
Yeah, you looked fucking mangled.
Look, next time I'll just fucking buy a bulletproof vest. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can learn fortitude from me.
I'll do both. One is just fucking faster.
And
Okay.
one is far more.
I'll drop the call. It's not very handy to talk right now.
We'll get you a wireless set.
Yes, that would be good. Goodbye.
As
Serena
the
hangs up.
as the call
Serena.
ends, Cecil sort of rises with sort of an alarmed expression, and then he just looks to Serena in the driver's seat and says, "You need to speed up. We need to go to another haven."
Right, got it. And can somebody text Larry the location where we're going?
I'll handle it.
Because he won't be able to keep up. And Serena basically pushes the fucking pushes the acceleration pedal down, and you all just can feel just like being pressed down into the car. And the sports cars that she had, which she never really used to its limits, it just goes like. Woof. Do you want me to roll?
Yes, you'll need to roll me wits and drive. And Larry, if you want to try and keep up with the car, you can roll.
I think it would be Dex and Drive because on that speed, I'm going to need to be like very precise with handling of the car.
Not just that. I think that's covered in Drive, but you'll also need reflexes to dodge shit that's incoming towards you.
And don't miss a fucking turn.
Yeah.
It should be Dex.
I think it's wits, but tell you what, you'll do a Dex drive now, but at some point I will have to ask you for a wits
that's fine.
and drive.
That's fine. The wits and drive is for not missing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Larry, if you wish to keep up, I'll need you to roll me a very weird roll. I'm not going to ask you for an attribute and an ability. I'm going to ask you for Dex and Flight.
The problem is that flight sort of limits your weight capacity and your max speed by the amount of points.
I'm aware.
Yeah, okay.
But this is a way. This is basically a way for you to sacrifice a bit of safety and still manage to speed up. This is if you want to keep up with the car.
Okay.
You can also just fly at your max safe speed and be fine.
Nah, it's not like I'm hitting a fucking airplane anytime soon. So
I mean,
you never know,
surprised.
brother.
You'd be surprised. This is LA. Okay.
We're gonna save Titus, yeah.
Okay, so as you all begin to speed through the city, Cecil says that, well, he basically speaks up and says, okay, so we have True Black Hand agents waiting at the Haven we were supposed to go to.
Does he say True Black Hand?
Sorry, my bad. We have enemy agents waiting at the Haven we were supposed to go to. I don't know how they got that information, but I think we have...
I mean, Rourke is part of the Sabbat.
Not just that. I think we have close enough infiltrators that he would have that information on the fly. These Havens weren't decided prior. They were decided tonight. And not with enough time for them to plan ahead. They were decided while we were on our way to Santa Monica.
I see. Like Mariposa said.
Eyes everywhere. The nearest haven is almost twice the distance, so we'll need to make it there on time, and we might actually have to run a bit under the sunlight. My advice is we stop by the sewers and try to fight through the sleep.
Or I just shout everything from this baby.
Just don't crash.
By the way, if I have heightened sense sight activated, would that help me?
It's not a perception roll, though. That's the weird part.
Yeah, but it is also like about like
I'll
noticing.
say in this case.
Evading traffic.
I'll say that in this case specifically, no. I think heightened senses gives you enough buffs and everything else. I think adding this would be a bit too much.
Okay. What about Um, the celerity wouldn't help me, like, just like to make.
Can my knowledge of the streets help?
Yeah, actually. If you know like specific
I
paths.
just remember them. I remember stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if you've ever laid eyes on a road, or if you pull up a GPS, you can easily like do that. Just keep in mind the roll you're going to make to assist includes all your penalties.
Yeah, I know.
Check,
I
don't.
know. If it's more than 2 dice, I'm gold.
In that case, accounting for your penalties, Jack, make me a.
Intelligence streetwise?
Well, if you're going from memory, it's intelligence. If you're looking up stuff online on the fly, then use wits. As for you, Serena, I'll need a wits drive from you. As you now realize how urgent the situation is, you're going to...
Yeah. I'm also gonna spend a willpower.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
Okay.
Okay, it's intelligence streetwise, no specialties. Let's
Yeah,
fucking go, baby.
I have a willpower.
Let's fucking go, baby.
Okay, so
I know this street is my 4 fingers left.
I understand you have a willpower spent.
Yeah.
So Serena got 1 success, plus 3 successes from Jack. So you guys manage, though Serena, you're for the first time in a while, you're finding this this task a bit difficult. It's not often that you find any task difficult, but this one specifically is giving you a bit of a hard time. You're feeling as if your heart, like if your heart could pound, you'd feel it pounding right now with adrenaline, because you're doing a lot of like very close calls. You pass a couple of cars, almost like weaving through them, nearly hitting one of them. You rush by a street that clearly a cop car was driving through, and they turn on the sirens, but as soon as they start going after you, you manage to get away from them. And soon after, as you begin reaching the location that Cecil pointed to, Larry, you're barely managing to keep up, and you feel the strain on your wings as you're doing so. And as you reach the location, it's this sort of rundown butcher shop. Seems to, at some point, have been quite well kept and sort of a better location than what it is right now. But the state of things either tells you that it was recently abandoned and thus, vandalism has taken over the area, or it's fallen on hard times and thus does not have the money for the upkeep it requires. And Cecil, as soon as you stop the car with a screech, he gets out and looks to the horizon and then just shouts, "Everyone inside now!" And he sprints towards the butcher shop.
Serena grabs the Nagaraja and also like sprints inside.
Limp with all my fucking might.
Okay, and Larry, how do you make your way inside? Do you land first, or do you try to like go the slow and safe way?
Depends. If I see Jack having troubles limping, I'm gonna swoop down, sort of by his side, get his hand over my shoulder, and help him go.
Okay.
Walk him, essentially.
Yeah, you do see that Jack's having quite a bit of trouble. As you swoop down and both of you start, making your way inside with quite a bit of struggle. Jack, you sort of glance over your shoulder and you see right in the horizon the color of the sky becoming this almost bright orange. And while in life you remember these views bringing you a lot of peace, especially in times of war. Seeing the sunrise was one of the few things that actually brought a smile to your face. This fills you with absolute dread. It looks far brighter than you remember, and it genuinely makes you almost panic. But you manage to steal your nerves, and both of you just rush inside. Inside, you all go down the stairs into this what looks like a freeze locker, like a meat freezer. And Cecil, as soon as all of you are inside, closes the door and locks it with a mechanism that seems to have been added quite recently, which allows the door to be locked from inside. And as soon as the lock falls in place, all of you begin to feel your bodies sort of give in, the weight of daylight pushing you down.
Serena tries to like resist it for a second.
Okay.
And she turns to Cecil. Could you handle doing that thing now? Because we don't know if he's gonna be still around when we wake up. And she looks towards the body.
Yep. So as I need to look at your sheets. So 1 moment. Should probably have your sheets open beforehand. My apologies. There we go. So, I believe the first one is Jack. Jack, do you want to resist the day sleep?
I won't be as of much help. Can I muster enough strength to just message Liliana, like, all clan meeting tomorrow? Urgent?
Roll me just a single stamina roll. For a text, it's not going to be overtly difficult, so...
If I have my penalties, I can't fucking roll.
You always roll a minimum of 1 dice.
I see. Hood.
Yeah, you
Probably
start
not happening.
typing, and as you try to, like, type on the phone, you realize that you can't feel your thumb, and you try to will it to press the buttons, but it just rests on the phone screen, not moving, and you see that your input isn't even registering on the phone. And as you try to sort of will it to do its thing, it's almost like the world around you just fades to black, and you just fall on the ground unconscious.
Yeah.
Next, we have Serena. So Serena is trying to stay up and help Cecil wherever possible, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so quick stamina roll, please.
Does fortitude account?
Yeah.
One, two, three, four, five. 4 successes.
So you basically get 4 turns staying up. Larry, are you trying to stay up?
Nah, I'ma just pass out, just like lay down, flap my wings around, spread my arms, and just fucking snore badly.
Yeah, so as Jack starts falling to the ground, Larry basically falls next to him, and both of them are completely out. Now for Cecil, I have to roll for his stamina plus fortitude. Yep, so you get... Okay. Yeah. And now he's going to essentially hold the Nagaraja and try to focus. And all of this is going to be at higher difficulty because he's focusing. Like, any rolls in this state are way higher difficulty because you're trying to resist falling asleep. So, the roll he needs to make is... what was it? Okay. Okay. So he focuses, and he tries his damnedest to read the mind of the Nagaraja. And as he does so, it's almost like half of his mouth is sort of starting to slack a little, and he tries to say, the Shadowlands. Think of the Shadowlands. And he keeps focusing, and as he's almost giving in, Serena, you just see on the corner of his mouth a slight smile, and then he fucking passes out.
And Serena probably passes out right after him anyway.
Yep. And that is where all of you end your night. That said, the sun's tyranny over vampires does not affect everyone. In fact, anyone stuck in certain places often is somewhat resistant to this, spared such tyrannies. Titus, going back in time a slight bit, as you feel Kian's foot make contact with your chest, and you feel yourself sort of get pushed to the side, you manage to, as you fall to the ground and sort of get tossed, you manage to land on all fours. But as you look around, your surroundings, while they are still the front of the of Crowfield Arms, the Crowfield Arms building, everything looks colorless, dark, dead, for lack of a better word. You look around and the shapes that used to be your fellow packmates start fading into nothing. Everything that forms any shape in this area can more or less be described as solidified shadows. And the only other presence near you right now is Kian, who, allowing one of the axes to sort of slide until he has the hand on the handle, he twirls it and sort of paces to the side, examining your movements quite closely.
So what is Titus going to do is first activate celerity. He will use 3 blood points.
Mm-hmm.
And the first action would be to check the surroundings if there are any objects that Titus can use.
Looking around, you do see shapes of what used to be objects. You see shapes of what look like cars, but all the shapes you see seem to be sort of at an odd positioning, and it takes you a bit to realize what those shapes are. For example, shapes of cars, all of them seem to be at the moment of collision, or essentially the moment where you could consider the object to have lost its essence. Shapes of phones that you see around are all on the ground, shattered. Shapes of any other objects, like chairs, tables, which there are a few, not a lot, but a few around you. All of them are at the point where the item was broken. Roll me a quick perception and alertness. Okay. Your eyes dart around, and what use are you looking for? Something to use as a weapon? Something to throw at him? What are we thinking?
Covers and possible distractions.
Distractions. Hard to find that just laying around. That said, looking around, you do see what looks like the remnants of maybe a truck of some sort. And within the remnants of that truck, you do see that a lot of exhaust pipes that either rest on the sides of the truck or going from below, they have been dislodged and are sort of in the process of flying off, frozen in midair. Perhaps if you could grab one, you could throw it, maybe hit Kian with it. You could use your imagination, but that's about all you find.
Mm-hmm. Titus will use his second action to rapidly move towards the car and grabs the pipe, throw it actually not towards Kian, but on the side.
Sorry, you're trying to throw... Can you repeat?
So the explosion... Well, Titus will use all his strength to relocate the explosion pipe that is in the middle of ignition.
Mm-hmm. You want to rip it from the truck? Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, make a quick strength and athletics roll.
Does tight grip also apply?
I'll say yes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Yep. So you leap towards the remnants of the truck. You reach for one of the pipes that seems to be somewhat loose, and with a swift motion, you put your foot on the side of the truck, you yank, and the first thing you notice is as you touch the pipe, there's this rush of emotions that pulses through you. You feel a deep sense of fear and panic, and you have this very momentary thought of, I don't want to leave my kids alone in this world. And then you rip the pipe and realize that these thoughts were not your own. And you turn your attention to Kian, who, after pacing a bit and sort of examining you, he looks at you holding the pipe, looks at your hips, looks at your hands, seems to realize you're otherwise unarmed, and after twirling both of the axes in his hands, he sort of throws them on the ground, and they stick into the inky blackness on the floor. After which the shadows sort of start slowly covering the axes. He cracks his knuckles and sort of does this towards you. That's his turn.
Okay, so, well, as I see that he is chivalrous, basically, I move away from the car, so he would see me, and show him that I'm also unarmed, and bow.
Kian doesn't really bow, but after seeing you do this, he says, "You know, my clan curse does prevent me from drinking as freely as most. But true warriors like you, that is something I'm allowed." And he starts taking steps forward towards you.
And Titus will yet again use 3 blood points.
You don't need to. I'm still counting that you use those for combat action, so don't worry.
Well, right now Titus wants also to examine Kian.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know how strong he is, but he wants to just to make sure to know if he does stand at least any ounce of a chance.
So just examine him physically as you look at him, or are you trying to deduce any supernatural?
Well, I'll do a battle stance and intimidating battle stance and check how he reacts, if he flinches or if he is excited from it.
Okay. So make a quick perception empathy. Okay. All right. So, you look towards Kian. You examine his movements quite closely, and in sort of a feint, you place yourself in a position where you could very easily lunge for an attack. And as soon as you do, he starts sprinting towards you. And in most people, you would imagine this would be like a reaction to a potential attack, something that might actually indicate that he's being careful or something. With Kian, no such feelings are in his face. All you see is sheer excitement at this potential fight he's entering, as well as a complete lack of concern. He does not seem worried at all that he's going to fight you. That's the impression you get. But now you have Kian sprinting towards you.
How tall is Kian? He is more than 2 meters.
He is about 2 meters.
How long are his legs?
About as long as you'd expect for someone who's 2 meters tall.
Mm-hmm. So what Titus will do is basically a feint that includes he is rushing towards the Kian, but he'll use like a dashing movement to like go through his legs and Well, to basically evade the confrontation by going below his legs and through his groin and.
Okay. Okay. So roll me, since you're trying to
I
since you're
also
trying to
have
feint
athletics merit that.
Yeah. So since you're trying to feint this, I'll give you two choices. You can either try to favor the feint or favor the maneuver itself. Favoring the feint might trick Kian into actually taking the bait and not really trying to defend against this, which will allow you to easily perform the maneuver. Favoring the maneuver might allow Kian a chance to react, but will make sure that even if he reacts, you still get through.
I'll use it as a feint.
So you want to focus on the feint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So roll me a quick manipulation athletics, please. And I need to roll wits and empathy for Kian.
Oh, sorry, it should be 3 dice, but it's a botch anyway.
If it should be 3 dice,
just exclude 5 or 3. Doesn't matter. It's first for last.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, it doesn't matter which one I exclude really, because it's either a fail or a botch, and I'll just count it as such. So you try to feint up top, and as you try to feint, you sprint and try to slide through. Kian, immediately as you start sliding, breaks with one of his feet, reaches down, and he grabs you by the neck, and almost instantly, you feel his fist connecting with your jaw. And I need you to roll stamina to soak this.
Stamina plus fortitude, right?
Yes.
Or just rolling stamina and fortitude is -1.
No, roll stamina and fortitude, all the dice.
Wow, Titus luck. Just horrible.
Okay. Take 4 points. No, 4 of bashing halved because it's bashing. So 2 points of damage, please. And you can register as bashing, which is the single dash. But as you feel this, his fist hitting your jaw, Kian just lets go of your neck, and you just go fucking flying. And you land on the ground a bit away from him. He then sort of tilts his head with a sort of a face, like a facial expression that just screams disappointment. And he says, "Really? I thought you'd be better than this."
I wonder if Titus will be agitated by this response.
Well, given your path, what is your instinct rating?
Where can I see it?
So it's under virtues, where self-control would be.
It's 4.
4? Yeah, you manage to... you can choose to either frenzy with this, or choose to sort of suppress the frenzy. Because of instinct, you don't really need to roll anything. If it's below the difficulty rating of your instinct, you don't really need to roll. You can just decide if you frenzy or not.
I won't frenzy.
You won't frenzy. Okay, got it.
Got it.
Yep. With this, Kian's turn takes place. He sprints towards you, and he's going to attempt to knee you in the chest. So that's Dex plus Brawl plus Potent. No, plus Celerity. So that's this. Okay. And now damage. What's a fuck ton of ones on damage? Okay. So roll stamina, please. Fortitude included. Okay. So you take a single point of bashing. As Kian knees you in the chest. And as he does, he sort of like gives you a push. And while you don't fall backwards this time, you sort of stumble backwards. And Kian just stands there with sort of this imposing posture. You get the sense that at this point he's playing with his food. And you now have your 3 celerity actions.
Is there anything sounds like that could blind him? Cultural.
Well, you recall that the floor you were on was asphalt. It wasn't sand or anything like that. That said, you're in the Shadowlands. You look to the ground, it looks like, this inky black substance. You're not sure what would happen if you just tried to scoop some of it out.
I'll try to do it and throw
Yep.
towards his face.
In that case, you pass your hand on the ground trying to scoop whatever material, and your fingertips seem to touch the shadows, and quite unexpectedly, they brush up against the same asphalt texture that you were on before. So you grabbed nothing.
I'll activate Feral Claws and try again.
Okay, so Feral Claws takes 1 turn to come out. We'll just say that you spend 1 of your celerity actions doing that. And you try again. Let me make a quick roll. Yep. You use your claws, you sort of dig in, and while you don't grab exactly sand, you grab a bunch of rocks that usually make up asphalt. It's not exactly something that will blind him if you throw it at him, but if you use this correctly, it could work to your advantage.
What is Kian wearing at the moment?
He seems to be wearing this sort of tactical-looking armor. Looks a bit odd, as if it's based on military gear, but modified quite extensively. When you're this close, you actually get to notice something. You also notice that on his armor, right where, usually a name tag would go, you see the logo to Crowfield Arms on his armor. But his face is currently uncovered.
Okay, I'll do a quite complex maneuver. I wonder if one action will suffice. So basically, it would be it would be so. I do have some cuts or anything that could have my blood leaking at the moment. So I could expunge some vita.
What is your what is your current?
My plan is to first throw the material, and since it was also a feint, the one skin will get rid of it. My blood will go through his eyes, so to blind him.
Ah, smart. We'll say that you can, while you're throwing the gravel, you can basically, nick your finger with one of your claws, and we'll say it's not enough to qualify as actually ag damage. That's fine. You just sort of nick your finger, and you can then use that to spray some blood. But it's going to take one action to throw the gravel and to nick your finger, and then your next action during the actual, your actual action, that's going to be the throwing of the blood. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, since you're fainting, roll me manipulation and, in this case, subterfuge.
I'd like to use a blood point. Oh, not blood point, but willpower.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Okay. So yeah. You can roll for your next action, which is actually trying to blind him. You can roll Dex and Brawl. And I will simply go through with Kian's action, which is, since you're throwing something at his eyes, he thoroughly believes what's going to happen, and he puts up his hand to cover his eyes. And as he does so, the rocks sort of hit his hand, and as they do, he sort of pulls back his fist, expecting to, find you trying to do something, but instead, you throw blood at his face. Now you can roll the roll I just asked of you, a Dex and Brawl. The difficulty is going to be reduced by 3, because that's essentially the over damage you would have done with the feint.
Fucking hell.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, it's...
that is...
It's a bunch.
2 successes. 2 successes.
One
Barely. My god. Oh my fucking god. Okay. So after you... after he sort of pulls his hand away, you very quickly do sort of this splash motion, and his... essentially the horizontal line that would cover both his eyes is now covered in a splash of blood, which he then shuts his eyes and tries to clear it quickly. So you get 1 free action to do whatever you want now.
Activating 3 celerity points, 3 blood points, wasted in celerity, and running the fuck away from him.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just allow you to run away. Do me one quick thing. One quick roll. Roll for me wits and stealth. Because running from Kian is not difficult. It's making sure he doesn't see you once his eyes are cleared.
Spending one more willpower. Spending 1 more willpower.
Okay. Hey, fucking king. Okay, so as you sprint away, you hear Kian basically screaming behind you. He just screams, "Show yourself, coward! Where are you?" And he keeps fucking shouting, and you hear essentially muffled sounds of stone breaking and metal tearing. Glancing behind you, you see essentially bits of the cars that you saw crashed around you, flying into the air, and sort of, as they fly into the air, they sort of remain static for a moment, and then stop in midair. And you get the feeling that Kian is either throwing a tantrum or frenzying really, really badly at the fact that you ran away. And you sprint into the shadows, hoping to fucking God. But Kian does not find you. And this is where we leave Titus for now. We're going to take a very quick break, and then we will rejoin the pack as they decide what to do next. Stick around. Be right back. Welcome back. We rejoin our packmates, Serena, Jack, and Larry, as well as Cecil, who wake up in the freezer within the butcher shop. As the three of you begin opening your eyes, you see that Cecil is already up, and he seems to be focusing on what looks like a small stone on the floor. And as he does, he sort of allows his body to sort of sway as he focuses.
Is the garage still around?
I mean, what's left of it, yeah.
What do you mean, what's left of it?
It's broken on the floor.
Hmm.
It doesn't even look like a person anymore. Come on. You guys fucked it up thoroughly.
Can I Diablerize it?
Do you try to?
I mean...
Actually, since you brought up the idea, regardless of your choice, you're still gonna have to roll to see if you go for it or not. So it would be a self-control roll. In this case,
would I even do a self-control? I don't have self-control. I have instinct.
This is instinct. You propose the idea, so I'd say the difficulty is about 2, maybe 3.
Bold of you to assume that I do not put the blood to better use.
Up to you.
I drain.
You want to? Okay.
Yes.
Jack, Larry.
Wait.
Huh?
Wait, actually, I need to know if Cecil still needs it.
Okay. I mean, you wouldn't know that for now, so.
Yeah, I just address him, see if he's in or not. Do you still need the Nagaraja?
Cecil sort of does a frustrated scoff and then says, "Why?
Do we need him alive?
Kill him. Don't drain him."
Iris fucking scoffs us back. I guess now I do a self-control.
Yeah?
Instinct roll.
How much instinct do you have?
4.
4? So you get to choose if you go for it or not, or if you want, you can leave it up to the dice roll and roll 4 dice.
The difficulty was 2?
Difficulty was 3.
Okay, I mean, Rita Scythe approaches. She's very tempted. And what is that?
That 1s and 10s don't count, so that is 1 success.
I see.
So you barely manage to keep it together. And Jack and Larry, as you open your eyes, you are like privy to all of this. So Serena asks Cecil. Cecil responds. Serena starts approaching the Nagaraja.
I will sort of sit up and look intently at Serena.
What do you have a use for the Nagaraja?
Just wanted to make sure you would keep yourself in hands. That's all.
I'm keeping myself.
That's good.
Serena rolls her eyes. Then she looks to Jack. Do you need the Nagaraja for anything?
Drink some blood, but that's about it.
Well, you can take it before I kill it.
Sure.
Okay. So how much blood do you want?
I can have 6 more, so if this unlucky bastard has 6, I drink 6. But I can control myself, and I know, like, is a step when it begins to be diablerie.
Mm-hmm. So you begin drinking. You can add 1 blood, 2 blood, 3 blood. And Serena, as you're watching Jack do this, now there's a difficulty 4 roll. Because this is enticing as shit. You're seeing someone else do what you want to do.
I mean, it's 2
Still
successes,
one.
so
Yeah, 2 successes there. So it's still.
I mean, if it's instinct 4, I still don't need to roll. To be fair,
you technically don't need to, but it's if you want, you can. I give you the choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, you start feeling like this shit isn't fair. It should be your fangs on it, not his. That's bullshit.
I mean,
That's self-control.
I mean, you need to give me instinct. You need to give me difficulty 5.
It's getting there. It's getting there. Jack, you can add 4, 5, and as you're starting to expect your hunger to be somewhat sated, it's never really entirely sated, but as you're expecting to at least be in the safe zone when it comes to your hunger, you feel that the vein has gone dry, but you don't want to stop. And you need to roll self-control.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna make myself stop. Myself stop. Oh, no, it's gonna be 1 die because my
penalties don't affect virtue rolls.
Okay. I'm golden.
Yeah. You have the discipline to stop yourself. And you pull your fangs away. Serena, this is difficulty 5 because you basically just saw this guy pull his fangs away, still sort of dripping with blood. And it's right there. The artery is open. You could just fucking take it. And at this point, you've been holding off.
I mean, I'm on instinct 4, so I don't have instinct 5.
Yeah.
It's no question. I just pounce on the body and start draining the fuck out of it. I am
grab her.
I'm gonna interrupt her.
She does it.
Okay.
You really want to interrupt when I'm in a frenzy, guys?
Larry will grab her by the scruff to prevent this.
I'm faster than him.
Well,
yeah, maybe
it's a question of contested roll. So Serena, either so you roll to fight a grapple. You roll strength and brawl, and Larry, you can roll either dex or strength and brawl.
Does my strength specialty apply?
Let me check. Let's see. Yes. Yes, it does. That very much applies.
Oh no! Go on, eat his ass.
Okay, so...
My rolls are back.
Yeah.
Guys, yes,
So
let's
you
go.
tried to grab at Serena, and she just escapes your grasp. You had a fucking hold on her, but the movement is too fucking erratic, and she's quite fucking fast, so she slips out of your grasp. Jack, you can roll as well.
Can I blood boost myself?
You don't have time to do that, unfortunately.
I'm just gonna fucking yoink her with my potence.
Okay. So you can, if you're using strength and brawl, you can use 1 blood point, and you just roll strength plus brawl with no potence added. Whatever you have in potence are auto successes.
Yeah, it's 2 successes.
Same. Serena would be using her potence herself.
I mean, yeah, you're in a frenzy.
One, two, three, four, five. 4 successes plus 2 auto successes, that's 6 successes.
Yep. So Jack, you essentially grab the only thing you can really reach
also,
for.
by the way, if Jack attempts to grab me, if like a second person attempts to grab me, I'm just gonna fucking smack them.
Oh, that's a different roll.
Okay, I was rolling strength plus brawl, baby.
Okay, in that case, you can just roll to smack him away. In which case, it's
That is that
so
is
roll damage for an unarmed attack, which is 1 plus whatever over damage you got.
So that's 6, right?
So
Oh,
6
5.
dice.
1, 2, 3, 2 successes.
Yeah. So Jack, you can roll stamina, and you need at least 1 success on a difficulty of 6.
Yep.
Just imagine like you failing miserably and
Shit,
get knocked
yeah.
into torpor immediately.
Oh shit, it's 3.
Okay. Do you have how many
I have
free?
I'm 2 points away from torpor.
No, you're 1 right now. You because bashing is halved for vampires.
Yeah.
So you basically feel
crippled.
this hit on your jaw. You feel sort of a slight crack, and yeah, you fall backwards as Serena fucking digs her fangs into the what used to be a Nagaraja.
Do I roll the strengths now?
Hmm?
Do I roll the strengths now?
Yeah, you roll 1 strength. The 1 roll of strength.
1, 2, 3.
So that's
2 successes.
2. And as you deal this damage, so Serena, as you're draining this guy, you feel someone right now. You don't have hair, so you just feel Cecil's hand over your forehead. He grabs your head and yanks you back. So if you're frenzying, so you kind of have to resist somehow. Up to you how you do that.
I mean, I try to keep my fangs in.
Okay. So that is, let's say that's, we'll make it feats of strength for both of you. So roll your willpower versus Cecil's willpower, and then you add strength and potence as a flat thing on top of the successes.
Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes plus
Does it
plus
beat
8? 14.
So you got 14, he got 7 plus. Yep.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 8, 14.
Yeah, so he has 11 plus his potence, which is... Hold on. Where is it? His potence, which is that. So 15.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. So you basically just feel your fangs escape the Nagaraja's neck, which sort of rips into it a bit. And Cecil just tosses you back, looks into your eyes, and says, "Calm yourself." And now you
And?
can choose if you want to roll willpower to come out of the frenzy or if you just want to ride it.
What is more correct with my path?
Well, Path of Metamorphosis doesn't really have a... With your rating,
Okay.
it doesn't really have a bearing here. So it's a choice between, do you want to have
Yeah.
at the Nagaraja no matter what the fuck happens, and, you know, including if you have to steamroll through your pack to get there? Or
No,
are you
no.
like...
I rolled my willpower. Chill.
Okay,
1, 2,
so
3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
yeah, so it takes you a bit to sort of bring yourself out of it, but you eventually manage to calm yourself down. Cecil is still quite apprehensive about letting you off the hook, so he just watches you for a moment.
Serena just like looks away, annoyed at herself.
Cecil...
You know, like the
Hmm?
you know the look of you know the look our dogs make when when they're guilty.
Yes. Yeah, so as you sort of turn your eyes away, Cecil sort of rests his shoulders, looks at the Nagaraja, and then with a stomp, the Nagaraja's body starts slowly decaying. And Cecil sort of shrugs his shoulders and says, "I can't find Titus, which means he is either beyond or he's left us. As we haven't been struck with the effects of our vinculum breaking."
He's still alive.
So to speak.
Well.
Is he in the Shadowlands?
Hopefully. Question is where?
Well, he'd be traveling on Shadowlands on foot.
On foot.
So
Before speaks, he'll kind of like fix his jaw, spend the blood to heal bashing. I can message him to go to some location if my message will work as I expect it to.
Can you get a message back from him?
Probably not, but at least he'll know where to go. You know, shadows are a finicky fucking thing.
Worth the attempt. We have to rescue him.
Just give me a location. He'll know.
Well,
we have spare haven set way before Mariposa attack.
we do. That said, we don't know. Definitely, Ruark's people are not aware of our haven.
Hopefully.
And if Titus is alive, must mean that he either killed or has escaped Kian. Hopefully he can make it stealthily there. Tell him to go to the Haven. We'll make our way there.
Horror house?
No, the mansion.
Yep,
That is a horror house.
that is a horror house.
Oh, I heard warehouse. Sorry.
No, horror house.
Yes, tell him to go to the horror house, not the whorehouse.
Yes. Important distinction.
Yes, very important. Though at this point, I'm not sure if those two are one and the same or not. Anyway, yeah.
What
Cecil,
do you know that we don't know?
Nothing. So Cecil says this and then starts walking towards the door. In the process of doing so, he turns to Jack and says, "Are you sure you can make it there?"
Probably. It uses my connection with shadows, and since it's fucking Shadowlands.
Not that. I don't doubt your ability to send a message. Are you sure you can make it there yourself? And he just sort of glances at the burns on your body.
Worst case, I have a brother to carry me around.
Larry, are you in any state to take Jack there?
Can Jack not drive the car with me?
I can drive it myself if someone brings me one.
I'm more worried
Well,
if we
no.
get stopped by the cops.
I can carry him.
Attaboy.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll sort of slap my hand on Jack's shoulder in a way of support.
Get careful there, big fella.
Jack,
Oh.
tank 5 points of bashing.
Oh no! Oh no! Jack did it
Just
again.
fucking knees breaking. Jack goes straight into the ground.
But yes, so Cecil takes his coat that he has on, and he sort of pulls a hoodie over his head, and then looks to Serena, who currently sort of looks like a monster, and says, "You're going in the trunk."
I could have Mask of 1,000 Faces.
Will it help?
It might, but it won't help with body cams.
Okay. I have a hood, and Serena just pulls up her hood, which is very low, like my
Cecil,
like the Nosferatu coat.
yeah, Cecil sees you pull up the hood, and after a few moments of staring, he just says, "Just keep your hands in your pockets, and we'll be fine, I suppose."
Am I supposed? Are you driving then?
I am.
Okay.
And Cecil unlocks the door. He takes care in looking to the outside, and then starts walking out.
Serena follows him and gets in the driver's seat, and it's a weird feeling. Usually she's the one driving everybody around, but now it's
Now she's on the opposite hand of Tarantino trunk shot.
no, but now she's in the passenger seat, and her treacherous mind whispers, "Enjoy being a passenger, princess."
That's sick. Yep. Larry and Jack, Cecil eventually gestures for you to come outside after checking if there's any onlookers.
Yep.
And with a swift beat of Larry's wings, both of you go up into the sky. And Jack, this is by all accounts fucking terrifying, because you're holding on to this
Hunk of stone.
Yeah, this hunk of stone as it hurls through the air with you attached to it.
Does he carry me like a little princess?
If you want him to, I'm sure he will. Knowing Alex, he'd probably prefer it that way. Anyway,
I will kiss him on the flight unconsensually. Because he can't do shit about it.
I can fucking bound you with tentacles.
So, you make your way through LA and eventually reach the Haven. Cecil stops his car near the entrance, and soon after, with a quite alarming landing, Jack, Larry stomps his way down and very carefully puts you back on the floor. And you know when you spend a lot of time on a ship and you get sort of sea legs where you're kind of losing your balance a little? You get that for a few moments.
Not exactly private jet, but fucking appreciate it. I'm gonna go to my room. First of all, change of clothes. Meanwhile,
it was
preparing
Gargoyle economy class.
Oh no, it was Gargoyle cargo ship.
Mm-hmm. And as you make your way inside, I need all of you who have awareness to make an awareness roll. Cecil will make one too.
Perception
and awareness?
Perception awareness, yes.
Careful applies.
Does psychic apply?
Does insightful apply?
Fucking hell, everyone has...
Yes, yeah, everyone has fucking perception.
Careful does. Insightful, I don't think it would. What was the other one?
Okay.
Psychic.
Psychic. That one definitely does apply.
One success, probably.
3 successes?
No successes.
Okay. So, Jack, as you walk inside, both you and Cecil sort of frown as you feel something's different. You look around, everything's the same as you left it. But you feel that something is different.
What the hell?
Or do I feel I got 3 successes?
You, Larry, feel like there's something you should see right now in this room, like the entrance. But you're not seeing it right now.
Quick scan of the building.
There are no people
some...
aside from the people you are aware of in the building.
No obfuscated.
None.
Serena looks at the others reacting. Is Titus here?
I don't know. There is something in this room, but I can't sense it. I would if it would be obfuscated.
Okay, so it's not in this realm of existence. So could be that Titus has managed to get here.
Maybe. Cecil seems to close his eyes for a moment and then opens them, looking around. He seems to be examining the room over and over, and then he looks to the ground and his eyes narrow. He walks to the center of the entrance hall and kneels down, sort of rubbing his fingers on the floor. For you, it looks like regular flooring.
But I know that Cecil has some fancy eyes. Because I've experienced them.
After a few moments, Cecil says, either someone's sending us a message, or Our packmate should be around.
So now we just need to.
Can I try to feel the shadows deeper than I usually do?
You may roll, let's say perception awareness, and I will let you add up tenebration as if it was, a physical discipline roll, as if it was like a potence roll.
Oh my god.
So you can roll that at a higher difficulty, and I'll have to ask something in private chat to a certain someone. So
Yeah,
one
careful
moment.
applies?
No.
Okay. Still hella fucking dice.
Could Iris attempt to see if she can telepathically communicate with Titus?
You can attempt to.
Okay.
So you can roll for it, and we can see what happens.
Okay.
Me sending out private messages and scheming.
If 8 is the difficulty of choice, I have 1 success. If 7, I have fucking 3.
Okay.
If more, I have none.
Okay. So, Jack, you reach out through the shadows. And as you do, at first you feel pulses, movements around the entire mansion. Nothing out of the ordinary. And at some point, you feel sort of a harsh, stinging sensation coming from downstairs.
Interesting.
So I rolled.
Let's see. How many successes did you get?
Well, what difficulty?
It's difficulty 6.
Okay, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 successes.
Mm-hmm. So you try to reach out, trying to find Titus's mind. And after a few moments, you find that there is no such mind within the building. So you can't reach Titus. Doesn't mean that Titus can't reach you back, but you can't reach him.
Mm-hmm.
Assumptions downstairs.
Okay. Let's go downstairs.
Cecil follows you, and he looks to Larry and says, "Keep watch. If we get ambushed while here, we'll need you to... We'll need someone capable of taking a lot of the damage for us. And I don't think either Jack or Serena will survive an outright ambush, so we might have to carry them out. Stay alert."
I will just stay, not to him, stay on top of the stairs and activate my power. Wait, how do I do that? I spend a blood point and I get 2 extra dice for lethal and aggravated and 4 extra for bashing.
Okay.
Just a fucking tank mode.
Sounds good. And as the other 3 go downstairs, eventually, you reach the basement. You look around. There's Cecil and Iris's room / lab. There's a small lab that Serena uses for her experiments. And there are the stairs that go down to the sewers. Which area do you want to examine first?
Jack, do you have a more precise feeling on the location?
I can try. Can I try again?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna roll perception awareness in the area.
I'm gonna spend willpower again.
I have 5 successes on perception awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, those there. I have 2.
Okay.
Or maybe fucking 4.
So, Serena, you definitely feel like there's something around. Something that is on the other side. A presence, to say the least.
Well,
And
I'm going to walk around,
Hold
feeling
on, let me
very
finish.
stronger.
Let me
Okay.
finish. As you look around, trying to sense which direction in general, you sense that most of this eerie presence is coming from the room where Cecil usually does his experiments.
Our bedroom. That's where I feel is strongest.
Jack still touching the shadows, waiting for the result.
You reach out, and once again you feel this pulsing, and eventually you feel like something stung you, and whatever reaching out you were doing was interrupted by it. And this time, you can sense the sensation quite clearly within Cecil's room.
Like Cecil's part of the room?
Like
Cecil's
within
room
that.
with Iris.
Yeah.
Yep.
Within the area.
Yeah, it's fucking here. It fights me back.
Do you know how your shadows are reaching? Like, is maybe Titus in the Shadowlands and being surrounded by tentacles and deathly afraid?
I don't know.
I guess. Cecil, do you have any? I know you have the sight for death, but can you see through it?
I'm not sure how it will react to Cainites on the other side. I'm able to see wraiths, some forms of
Well,
undead.
maybe. I mean, well, okay. I'll just draw a card and see if it's Titus.
As you draw a card, Cecil begins to look around, and you may roll for your card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 successes. No, yeah, 2 successes to divine, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 successes to interpret.
Okay. And what is the question you ask the cards?
It's basically, is it Titus? Because I know Cecil was working on opening the portal, and if it's Titus, then we can open the portal. So I just need a yes or no.
One moment. So Serena, you draw a card, and the card you draw is the Fool.
Yes, but I got 5 on interpretation.
I know. Basically, you get that the question this time wasn't really answered, as if the question itself was either misinterpreted or didn't reach a party that was, well, a sense that was willing to answer.
Okay, I'm gonna attempt again.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't need you to roll. You draw another card.
Yeah, the question is it our packmate that was yeeted into the Shadowlands? Like, fucking forgot that Titus doesn't consider himself Titus. Okay.
So you draw. You don't need to roll.
Yeah, okay.
You draw the sun.
I look at the sun. It should be Titus. The cards say it's a definite yes.
Cecil,
so if we can
Cecil seems to be staring at a specific point within the room. Are you sure it's Titus?
Well, I mean, the first time I asked if it's Titus, it said, what a foolish question, because, Titus is not Titus. Titus is the beast, the hunter. When I asked whether it's our packmate that was yeeted, and Serena autocorrects herself, that was thrown into the Shadowlands, the card said yes. Absolutely strong yes, the sun.
Then I'm assuming that's because of him. And Cecil sort of points to the corner of the room, and you see that at some point the axe that you left on the table fell to the ground, and once in a while you see it sort of bump to the side and bump to another side.
I guess he's trying to give us a sign.
I suppose so, but how do we bring him back?
Well, you managed to open the portal last time with the axe.
That would kill him. If we pulled him back, that would kill him.
Was the axe?
Yes. I've tested it. Last time I lost an arm. Had to build a replacement.
We do know fucking Samedi.
We do.
It's gonna cost us more than an arm and a leg, but...
And we already owe him so much.
Oh yeah.
And as you're pondering this issue, I need everyone to deafen, except Jack. And I will do a thumbs up when you can rejoin us.
Okay.
So mute and deafen, please.
Alex?
Yeah, okay. So, Jack, you start hearing in the back of your mind that familiar whisper, that dark, deep voice that, despite not speaking in a loud tone, it fills your mind to the point where you can't hear anything else. And it says, "Quite a predicament. I could help you. You'd owe me a favor later." I assure you it's nothing too painful. You'll just have to realize that sooner or later, you'll do what I want. But for now, I can promise you, you will remain unharmed. Yourself, at least.
I don't fucking like it.
Do you have a choice? You could make a deal with the corpse, but are you so sure he'll allow you to survive it? I have your best interests in mind. I know what you want, and I know what you value.
I'm gonna get back at you so fucking hard.
Is that a yes?
It is a yes with a but.
Very well. In that case, I ask you to tell your ductus to try his ritual. I will facilitate it from my end. And
You don't know, I'm 2 steps away from fucking dying again. So don't fucking try anything.
I want you alive. Don't you worry. Just tell him to brace himself. It won't be pleasant for him. And
No
Jack, let's keep this between us.
Sure.
Good. I will be waiting. And the whisper subsides. I don't think Alex saw, so someone sent him a message. So, yeah. Serena, you sort of see Jack pondering the situation.
Doctors, I guess we don't have much a choice. We can fucking try.
What if he dies?
I have a feeling he won't. He's a nasty fucking booger.
Is this some of your... Do you sense this in the shadows?
You can say that.
Okay. I trust you. Cecil reaches down and picks up the axe. And as he does, the axe still sort of jitters in his hand once in a while. But he eventually rests the axe in both his hands, holding it in front of him and focusing. And you see, as you basically watch as Cecil's coat sort of rips open, and out from his rib cage spring these sort of finger-like appendages attached to his back. They reach forward into what looks like empty space, and they click together. And as they start prying apart, you see this immense strain on these appendages as they pull open what looks like sort of a fissure in the middle of the air. And they pull and pull and pull, and on the other side you see a shadow of a humanoid.
Titus! Serena yells.
So you yell Titus through this window?
Yeah.
Sorry, background messages. Okay.
Oh my
Apologies,
God.
1 moment. I have been invaded here by dogs.
That was the ground message.
The bodyguard escorting them out.
Yes.
Yes.
Apologies. But yes, so you shout through this fissure in the air. You call out for your packmate, and the shadow begins to approach. It reaches through, and as it does, you see the shadows around the shape sort of fizz away. And I need everyone in the room to make a quick perception and awareness roll.
Careful applies.
Careful does apply.
7 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Probably none.
Yeah. Okay, so Serena, as the hand passes through and you see the shadows sort of pull back, you basically feel as if the motion of the shadows indicates that they are thoroughly terrified of what happens if they stay attached. That's sort of the vibe you get from it. And as the shape slowly makes its way through, eventually Titus falls through, trying to hold on to something, which he then lets go. And as he lets go, his hand sort of is allowed to pass through the window. And as soon as Titus makes it through, it's almost as if the window collapses on itself, and you hear cracking sounds coming from Cecil's limbs that are holding this window open, as they sort of break with the pressure, and Cecil basically falls to the ground, reaching for his back in agony. But Titus seems to be through.
Serena looks over quickly Titus. Does he look all right?
He looks unharmed. I mean, he's a bit
Then
bruised,
she goes. Then she goes to Cecil's side and checks if he's all right.
Cecil seems to be breathing quite heavily, but eventually just gives you like a slight nod and says, "I'm fine. Is he alive?"
Yes.
Doctors, is it because of me? What happened to your arms?
It's fine. We got you through.
Holy shit. I barely survived. This guy, he's a monster.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he moved you to Shadowlands with a fucking dropkick.
Did you kill him?
No, that would be impossible, but I did manage to escape.
Shit.
He played with me, he toyed with me, I stood no chance.
Were you followed?
No, I blinded him. I tricked him and used as much speed as I can and went here, but I do recommend relocating.
Okay. Oh, well. At least we know what they're capable of now. And we know something. I learned something.
Yes, how was that a success?
Somewhat. The information was in strands, but I managed to pull something from the Nagaraja. First, yes, you heard me right, Nagaraja. They are real. And second...
I mean, we already knew that.
Second...
Not all of us.
They have an infiltrator, or had an infiltrator, within the Sabbat. Chuck was an infiltrator.
Just one of the many, I guess.
One of the many, and one who was trying to obtain a full rank of whatever this organization is. And not only is Ruark part of it, I get the sense that whatever this organization is, they hold positions of power in almost every sect. They think, at least, that they own all of the factions. They can steer them however the fuck they want. And if...
So that's what Mariposa fucking meant.
Is that fucking Illuminati?
If just a fledgling, just a youngling like that, or excuse for a Cainite, thinks this much, this highly of the organization, we can assume that they can have a number of resources we're still not aware of. But they're not to be fucked with lightly. That said, I did gather an important piece of information, an advantage. Cecil seems to take a deep breath and then focus, and he says, "Bring Larry down here." I can't say this out loud.
Mm-hmm. Serena goes up for Larry.
Yep. Larry, you hear
Larry
Serena.
comes down. No question.
Yep. And when everyone is in the room...
In shadows? Should I rub the room in shadows?
No need. Cecil seems to focus, and then he looks to all of you, and you hear Cecil's voice in the back of your minds as he says, "They have a city hidden in the Shadowlands."
Motherfucker.
But I haven't seen anyone but the big dude.
Did you
He
see
was the only
Ruark?
living... No, only Kian. He was the only living person I've seen in the Shadowlands.
Right. Ruark and the other Nagaraja went into the Shadowlands right after you were transported there. If you didn't see them, it means you weren't taken to that city. I don't know where it is, but clearly they can reach it.
Do we have a name for the city?
No. But the architecture, it was unfamiliar. It looked ancientist, to put it lightly. I didn't recognize the architecture whatsoever. It didn't look modern. It didn't look modern at all.
For like thousands of years.
Tens of thousands.
Older than the
Ireland, since those two dudes are like...
If I had to estimate it, I don't think there's knowledge of any civilization that could make something like this. At least in this style. There certainly are civilizations that would make something akin to it, but a lot of developments in architecture have been made since that. This was primitive.
We're talking Mesopotamian.
But
potentially
older.
Potentially fucking older.
Whatever
like
I've
the
seen,
first city?
I don't know. Titus.
What I've seen in Shadowlands, it reflects on the real world. So would it be safe to assume that this place also exists in real world and connected
Or
to the
existed?
Shadowlands?
It's possible that it still exists, but if it does, it's nowhere anyone is aware of.
And
It could.
what I felt that as if time was very slow there for animate objects, especially when I interacted with a car exhaust. So it may be a place from the past, but in our time it could be just ruins or just flat out just badlands.
That is the other possibility. The Shadowlands don't just include a reflection of things that exist. They include a reflection of things that have existed, things with strong emotional ties. A city with these emotional ties would have left an impression, but with the detail I saw, I don't know. Maybe it was built there. Maybe it's an impression of a city that actually existed. I don't know. What I do know is that this group, they hold up in there.
Because they're unreachable for most, aren't they?
It's what it feels like. Knowing this, it's an advantage. It means if we have to plan an attack, it's somewhere in there. We have to attack a city, not a faction, a city.
But what about all their other spies?
That remains a problem. We don't even know if they're around here right now. Though I'm sure if they were, Larry would know.
If they're in Shadowlands, we won't know shit.
Wait, are we going to assume that this place, at least until now, has been unknown to them?
What do
I
you
won't
mean?
put my money on that.
Well, since they really want to see us dead, if they knew of this haven, they would have attacked. It's easy. We've seen how easy for them to come and go.
Yeah.
We don't have any
They don't know we're
defenses.
here.
Yes, but that means that there's at least one high-ranking Sabbat member that should be not on their list, not their agent. And I'm talking about that Malkavian Black-Hand agent.
Probably.
Victoria, maybe.
Yes. Victoria,
Amicinoctis.
The question is, who do we trust? It's possible they are not part of this organization, but will they trust us?
Well, it's possible they're part of the Black Hand too, but I mean, they're part of the
Black
Sabbat,
Hand
they're
is
part
not
of other
exactly
sects.
big united organization.
We'll have to...
Amicinoctis is. That's my fucking concern.
We'll have to explore our options. For now, we
Yes.
need to rest, reassemble,
And recover.
Yeah. Do we have any word on Abel?
I'm gonna send him a message. Just text message.
We need to meet up with him and make him aware of the situation. We can't trust anyone else. That means Isaac, that means Victoria, that means anyone else. Even if they're not part of this organization. If there are enough spies that they are aware of this much.
It could mean that it's not so much that they have... It could actually also mean that it's not so many spies, but rather so many high places. The fish rots from the head.
Indeed. And if that's the case, We have to be careful who we tell information to. Because have someone who doesn't believe us know where we live, that information might spill to the wrong people. Have the information that we're aware of their secrets spill to the wrong circles, and we're dead.
We need something to hold over them, like a Damocles sword.
That, or we need a way to keep people loyal to us.
That's not exactly fucking constantly working.
No,
Well,
it isn't.
Here's the thing. They are assured of their untouchability because they're holed up, because they have spies in every single faction. Well, see, this is the moment where something like having loyal Nosferatu and good-minded for like people well versed with that would become additionally handy, even though I'm quite used to it. But if we make some sort of, guarantee that if they kill us, what's going to happen, whether they want it or not, is that this information is going to get leaked to everybody whom we can find.
I know. I know how to do that. Larry, you know where Oswald is. You can get him here. Covertly.
I think I do.
Good.
Because here's the thing, we can encrypt this information with all sorts of things, and unless there's like a regular
5 inputs to block it.
regular inputs to block it from spreading, aka which depends basically on them not murdering us. And it has to be something that Oswald wouldn't be able to undo either.
I know.
Just in case.
I know. I have a way of making it clear that we are not to be fucked with. But I need Oswald in a room with me.
Yeah. But if we do that, then basically them killing us would be the same as every little bit of information that we managed to gather
being made
leaking
public.
out. Yes. And you can understand that whatever cities are holed up in the Shadowlands, the Giovanni are going to give an arm and a leg for that.
More potential allies, but we don't really have a bridge right now. I'm aware that Abel has made contact with them in the past. Perhaps he could handle that side of things. But first, Larry, I need you to arrange for a time and place for me to be in a room with Oswald. And it has to be a room no one is aware of.
I will.
Good.
Could I acquire help from my grandsire?
So long as he's not made aware of what we know. Not yet.
I can arrange for a meeting.
Good. We have to take steps. Small steps. Careful steps. If we don't do this right, we're all dead. And this information dies with us.
Which is why we need to have the Damocles sword. Even if we die, this information needs to be revealed.
Exactly. And once we have the threat looming over their heads, how do we make use of this information? That is what we need to think about.
Well, I don't think we're the only ones to have ever stepped on their tails.
We mustn't be. I know Isaac was in the process of learning some of this information. Perhaps getting that information to him would be a good idea. Jack, can I trust you are able to do this?
Yes.
Good. Make sure no one else learns of this. This has to be said in a very secretive place, a place where neither you or Isaac would be expected. Is that understood?
Yes.
Good. In the meantime, while Larry and I handle Oswald, Serena, I will have Jack arrange for a meeting between you and the La Sombra. They can't be aware of what we know yet. We don't know how thoroughly infiltrated they are. That said,
What can they know?
they can know that we have information. You need to figure out a way to use them to achieve our goals. I'm trusting you with this, and Titus will be your backup. I know that Titus has a lot of criminal contacts within the city, and he has influence. Perhaps he has something to offer the La Sombra that we, as a pack, can't offer. So he's
You should
essentially your
run the
bargaining
ideas
chip.
by me.
There's something I also want to offer. Since I do have some knowledge on Crowfield arms, and our enemy currently possesses this, I'll try to do some work on the background to make sure to weaken their bonds with the Crowfield arms.
This is good. This is good. Perhaps in that case, inform Serena of the extent to which you can offer the La Sombra some benefit for helping us, and take care of weakening this connection yourself. Each of you has your tasks. I expect you to attend to them thoroughly and carefully. In the meantime, I need to heal before I meet with Oswald, and I will need to make contact with Abel. I'll inform him of everything we've learned, and I have my own task for him. Tread very carefully from now on. The information in your heads is worth far more than any resource you've attained so far. Is that clear? None of us perish. None of us.
Affirmative.
Yes.
Well, we are the sword. And sword fucking cuts the hand.
We might even be the blade at this point. And
I like it.
who knows how brittle the rest of the sword is. It might break at the slightest touch. And as Cecil struggles back on his feet with the shattered limbs hanging from his back, we will end tonight's session there. And along with this session, we end the first online season of Beyond Armageddon. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back next week with the prelude to Season 2. And have a good night. Bye-bye.
Yeah.